This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
There's no better feeling than a personal win, and the State Farm Personal Price Plan can help you do just that. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This year, Santa's bringing the power of Energizer into his workshop.
Whoa, the Energizer Bunny's got so much power.
Wait, he's powered up all the toys. I think that means we're done for the year.
I love this bunny.
He's the hardest working helper the North Pole has ever seen. And he wants all your gifts to have the power of the #1 longest lasting AA battery. So this holiday season, stock up on Santa's and the elves' favorite battery, Energizer Ultimate Lithium.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
Looking for a pickup truck to get just about anything done? Look no further. The Chevy Silverado EV isn't just the most powerful Silverado ever, with next-level towing capability and technology. It also offers game-changing versatility with the available multi-flex midgate and tailgate, which means Silverado EV helps you carry large, bulky, and oddly shaped items up to nearly 11 feet in length. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Visit Chevrolet.com to learn more.
I knew it. Another Herdat Media production.
Hey cousins, we have a bonus episode. We filmed this episode last week with Carlos King and he dropped it on his podcast a couple days ago, and now we are dropping on ours. It's all of us talking about hot topics. We talk about the Orange County. They had like a little Christmas dinner. We talk about the 2026 Real Houses of New Jersey and much more. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Reality with the King. It's me, Carlos King, the king of reality TV and one of the most sought-after executive producers in reality television with over 10 years of production experience. Twice a week on Reality with the King, we'll sit down with my friends across the entertainment industry, recap our favorite reality shows, and revisit unforgettable moments that we are still talking and tweeting about. Hey, Raindrops. On today's episode of Reality with the King, the girls are back, honey. In the words of RuPaul, bring back my girls. And no, I'm not talking about the queens on Drag Race. I'm talking about the queens on the podcast, baby. Yes, they came on my show a few weeks ago, and honey, the comments were commenting. Everyone talked about what a great collaboration it was. And look, I love these girls. They are so hilarious. I don't care if you guys like them or not. I don't give a shit because I do, and that's all that matters. But give it up for my loves from the All About the Real Housewives podcast, Roxanne and Chantel.
Hey. Hi, Carlos.
Hey, girls.
By the way, Carlos, I'm digging your beard. I always have to compliment you. You guys can't see it, but I am loving the beard.
Thank you, honey. Just call me the Black Santa.
I like that. That was quick. I love that.
I give gifts.
Where's
mine? I'm just kidding.
So
we're so happy to be here, and this is a gift to be on your podcast.
Aw, thank you, Chantel. Listen, everybody had a lot to say when you two appeared on my podcast a few weeks ago, but it was overwhelmingly positive, I must say.
Good.
good.
And people,
I know we got so many people, reaching out to us, and they were like, we love the connection that you guys have with Carlos King. Like, they're like, you guys are so aligned and you guys just vibe really well. And I was like, yeah, we're all from Michigan. We're all from Detroit. Like, of course we do.
Yes. Honey, Midwest the best.
Yes.
Look, I am somebody who do what the fuck I want to do. Let's say that. And listen, I love you girls, and I'm so happy we get to have a day of hot topics. So we have to talk about the breaking news that made me tear up a little bit. Andy Cohen recently revealed that the Real Housewives of New Jersey is not returning until the year 2026. And I'm like, excuse me?
That was...
Like, what? Girls, I am not okay with this news. I need my girls back. What is going on in Jersey? What intel do you ladies have? And I'll tell you my insight as well.
Well, I actually wanted to ask you, didn't they do this with Atlanta? They did the exact same thing where Kandi was like, I'm done waiting, and Kandi basically quit.
Yes, that's true.
Even though Atlanta is one of the top rated, they did the same thing. So, I mean, I guess and look what they did with Vanderpump Rules. So it wasn't very shocking for me.
I was just shocked because Andy kept saying, you're not going to know until January. You're not going to know until January. And then all of a sudden because like everyone does keep asking him because everyone wants to know. And then he came back and was like, you guys are not getting it until next year. And everyone like freaked the F out, which like, it's crazy to put these girls on such a long wait.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. So this is what's so interesting. Roxanne, you are correct. Atlanta Housewives suffered through a waiting period, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, Kandi Burruss did say that she got tired of waiting and she took on other opportunities, and ultimately she quit the show. So she did quit the show. She was asked back. She decided to say no because during that waiting period, she had obligations to do other stuff. And that's what she's doing as we speak. So Atlanta Housewives is not coming back until 2025, right?
Yeah, I think at the end.
So we don't know what month is coming back. We're hearing March. That's what we're hearing. But again, we just don't know. They did reveal a clip during the Miami version of BravoCon.
Yeah.
With Portia visiting her divorce attorney. So look, we don't know what's going to happen when it comes to Atlanta, meaning what month is going to premiere. But you're right. It did take a long pause. I am hearing great things about it, though. They have 4 new girls, Shamia being one of them. Portia's back. Cynthia's a friend of. Kenya is there for half a season. And Phaedra comes back 2 weeks before they wrap filming, and she gets to hold the peach. So there's a lot of surprises there, right? So we get to see if it was worth the wait. I'm hearing it is, so I can't wait for us to see it. Now, Jersey is significantly different. Because let's have a real conversation. The biggest choice they have to make is who do they keep between Teresa and Melissa. And this is no shade to Margaret. This is no shade to Jennifer Aiden or Dolores, right? This big pause has 100% to do with Teresa or Melissa. Now, with that being said, and let's be real here, what do you think ultimately is going to happen if you guys were flies on the wall in the decision making?
I think that they're going to bring, I just can't see a world where they would bring Melissa over Teresa back unless Teresa had a spinoff. So unless Teresa, and I still don't even think they'll bring Melissa back. I think that they're going to end up bringing Dolores has been really out there. So I think obviously we all know they're going to bring her. And I do think they're going to bring Margaret back. Even though Margaret has really nothing going, at least I guess that's what I'd prefer. I'd prefer Margaret to come back over Melissa any day. But they tried the Melissa stuff this season where she's not really talking about Teresa, but she still did. And then they tried bringing her family into it and it didn't click. It didn't vibe, Melissa's out here trying to be an influencer and I feel like she can do well with that. So like she can live that influencer era. She's reminding me like very much of like the Kim Kardashian thing, what Kim Kardashian does and stuff. So I feel like she's good doing that. You know, she's very social media heavy and stuff, but I just can't see them ever bringing her back. I think they just want things to settle down and go from there. And who knows? You know what? I feel like there's a lot of great people in Jersey that would be like Italians that would be amazing for reality TV. So if, you know, we did a revamp in New York and it didn't work, but I feel like if they did something like that in New Jersey and it was like people who were already friends and connected, it might work.
I agree. I think it also has to do with who they're going to bring in new. So like, I think that plays a factor. It's like, is this person going to vibe with the Teresa or are they going to vibe with the Melissas? Like, I think that's what also they're going to take in consideration.
Yeah, they've been interviewing people. Like we know a lot of people that they've interviewed. So they've been doing that. So obviously, like at least the one thing is like we know the show's coming back, but it is going to be very interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I just don't see a world where a woman who has been the face of the show since season 1, not like season 3. I'll give you a good example. Portia came on season 5, right? And arguably she has immersed herself to be a force multiplier on Atlanta Housewives. And she's young and she brought a very young audience along with her and she made her mark. So it makes sense to make Portia of the face of a rebooted Atlanta Housewives when, let's be real here, NeNe Leakes will remain the face of the franchise, right? But if we're talking about a rebooted version, it does make sense for Portia to do it because she's done significant, iconic things since she's been on the show. And she is very youthful and fresh. So when you bring on youthful and fresh women, it makes sense that they'll be around Portia being the captain of this ship, right?
Yeah.
The thing with Teresa is this. Teresa's relevance has never dissipated. And I think that's the difference when you think about her and the other OGs who's coming on. Teresa is still very much relevant. Teresa is still very much, has so much personal story. I think at the end of the day, whether or not you like Louis, you can't negate the fact that there's an interesting story there when it comes to them that I worked for Bravo before producing all of these shows and seasons of it, that you don't want to miss any sort of story that's going to materialize with Teresa and Louis and the children. It's just something is always there. And Teresa is like Christmas morning. She is the gift that keeps on giving without even trying hard. And look, I agree with you about Melissa. I've said this once, I'll say it before. Melissa's beautiful. She's a very beautiful woman. Okay? And you cannot take that away from her. She's a great mom. Her kids are very mannerable. They're sweet. She's a great mom. When it comes to being the face of a franchise, I think she can't pull that job off.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is no disrespect to Melissa, and I'll say this, and I said it to Teresa. Melissa was once great for the show. And you can't deny what she brought to the show, courtesy of the interaction she had with Teresa.
Absolutely.
However, it doesn't mean she can carry a show. I just don't believe it. She's young. She's beautiful. And like you said, Roxanne, she is sort of like this Bethany Frankel influencer at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say Bethany Frankel. That was very nice of you, Carlos.
I mean, you called her Kim Kardashian.
I'm just saying how Kim
You
Kardashian...
said Kim K, girl. I think Kim K's a tall order.
I know, but Kim Kardashian, what I'm saying is like Kim Kardashian is, you know, I don't know how old. She's like, you know, mid-40s and she's still like really wants to be and she looks amazing. And I don't think it, you know, whatever, she looks amazing, but she just really wants to still be out there. She hasn't changed her brand at all. So that's like what I mean when I'm saying Kim Kardashian. It's like they really, you know, I don't know, they're stuck in that influence era, but in a way that's not adapted.
I think you're thinking of her like Watch What Happens Live outfit recently. It was very Kim K, like tight, sheer thing. You almost saw her nipple. So that's why.
I don't know.
Yeah. And so that's my thing. Now I'm gagging, girls. So you girls think that there's a possibility Margaret will be asked back. Oh shit! Tell me why and what info do you have, girls, that I don't?
Well, no, I just think because with it, I think Margaret's shitting her pants because this is everything to her. She wants to come back. She hasn't been as, bad on social media. She's the type who does see everything, but she's kind of smart about it. She has brought along storylines. I mean, she's been very dirty and vicious about it, but I do think she is someone who can maybe take accountability. Whereas with Melissa's never taken accountability for anything. So, and people like to say, well, Teresa hasn't. If you rewatch season 3, 4, and 5, Teresa's saying sorry at least 100 times. So that's taking accountability. We're like, if I did that, I'm sorry. That's what taking accountability is. So I just feel like, with Atlanta, they're bringing back some faces and then they're bringing some new people. And it actually looks like it's going to be the biggest hit in a long time. So I feel like they're going to keep some people. And if they're going to keep some people, if it's Margaret and Melissa, I do think they're going to end up choosing Margaret because Margaret will end up being able to make peace or, even though like her and Teresa hate each other, I can see them moving on as long as Melissa's not there.
And I think like if they brought Melissa back with Teresa, it's like, what was the whole point of the pause? Like it would make no sense for it. Like what were we doing this whole time? If they came back, it'd be the same show and the same thing that you just saw like last season. So it'd be silly for them to bring both of them back. And I do think they would bring Margaret back over.
No, I was going to say, how about when Andy told, or Melissa said to Andy, why are you making people wait about the show? And he's like, I mean, it took you 15 years to do the sprinkle cookies. I know, I was dying.
Listen. Andy Cohen is iconic because at the end of the day, he's not only smart and a great businessman, he also is shady, and I love that about him. That was a fun read, and let's just transition into that.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I try my best to make sure that I don't come across as Melissa hater like you girls, because at the end of the day, Teresa's my sister, and she's, I know, cool with you guys, and people think I'm on her payroll, which is
they
fine.
think that. I'm like, please, I wish we were paid.
But don't you hate when you have a different opinion than someone, they then say, oh, you must be getting paid? It's like, no, I just watched the show.
Yeah, I watch the show like you do, and I have an opinion, and it's okay. But I digress. I try my best to find the great things about Melissa. Once I said it before, she's beautiful. She's a great mom. Yeah. And at one point, she was a great housewife. The sprinkle cookies bothers me for this reason alone. You complain about Teresa. You said she's dead to you. You claim that you aren't in her shadows, that you're not always a part of her storyline. And you do the very thing that made you interesting when you first got on the show because of what Teresa said. Yeah. And for me, it's like, I don't understand why you waited 15 years to come out with a line of sprinkle cookies. And listen, I'm not saying they're not delicious. I'm pretty sure they are. Bethany Frankel said it's good. A lot of people she sent it to said it's good. Melissa, I'm waiting on my care package. I will send it through TSA first to make sure it's not poisonous. Right. I'm kidding. But Melissa, send me a care package. I'll talk about it on my podcast. Yeah. But I think for me it's this.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Whether you're in your running era, Pilates era, or yoga era, Find Peloton workouts that work with you. From meditating at your kids' game to mastering a strength program, they've got everything you need to keep knocking down your goals. So no matter your era, make it your best with Peloton. Find your push. Find your power. Peloton. Visit onepeloton.com.
This episode is brought to you by Batiste Dry Shampoo. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or getting ready for a night out, Batiste has a dry shampoo for you. Refresh with over 10 signature fragrances. Or try Batiste Hint of Color, a tinted dry shampoo that seamlessly blends with your hair. Need an extra boost? Try Batiste Dry Shampoo with added benefits, like volumizing, texturizing, and more. Buy Batiste now, in-store or online at your nearest retailer.
If I was on Melissa's team, I would say, if you're trying to prove to the world that you don't need any sort of attachment to Teresa, then let's not do it. Will you make money? Sure. Will you sell out? Absolutely. But let's think of the long game here. Let's think of 5 years from now. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like Melissa is always doing something to extend her 15 minutes of fame. Yeah. And I think these sprinkle cookies are just an example. It's such a good point
because it's like, and how far are you going to get with just sprinkle cookies? It's not brand. It's not for your brand. It's a little product that you're just coming out that may like you said, maybe.
Well, I mean, she's not baking it. Like, it's not her recipe.
And it made you.
Oh, it's not. Wait.
No.
It's not her recipe. So wait, did she just use her name? Wait. I didn't know this. I thought she literally was in the kitchen concocting some recipe.
No.
Did she license her name? I think she has
a baker, like a bakery that, she's paying to make the cookies. And then, if you look at the ingredients, it's not like someone came up with these ingredients. Like there's a whole, like a lot of like shit in there.
Yeah. She's just using a local bakery from New Jersey to distribute the cookies. That's all that she's doing. And she's slapping her name on it. And that's really all that it is. Yeah.
Melissa, in the words of Kyle Richards to her sister, Kim, who talked about Lisa Rinna's husband, I can't defend you. This is indefensible.
Right. No, I know. It really is.
Melissa, fuck.
You know what, though? I will say Melissa's PR, she has got a new PR and they're really working it. Like, they probably have spent so much money because they've sent those cookies to every influencer you can think of, every Real Housewife that you could think of. And then they put in the note, like, we'd love if you can share this. So that costs a lot of money. I mean, that's not, so they have invested so much. I do think like it's a good gag gift. Like, it's something you're going to bring to someone's house. But then we just found out that half of them are not even going out by Christmas time. So that kind of sucks. And what else, Chantel bought some.
Wait. Chantel, you bought some? I need to know where you got them from and how they taste. And now I'm kind of scared
because, like, what if she knew my name and she poisoned them?
She's not going to do that. How did it look? How was the packaging? Because I heard the packaging is different than what Bethany got.
It was like a pink box. There was like a pink and a pink box. It does look nice, but like they were $30 for 12 cookies. I'll bring them on Christmas Eve, Roxanne, and we'll try them. On camera, we'll let you know, Carlos. But it took a while though. It took over a week for them to get sent too. So like to me, it's just like silly. Like you would just go down the road, go to like I keep saying Whole Foods or something, and get cookies. Like that's what you would do.
I just think it's a gag gift. Like everyone loves the Real Housewives. So they're like, oh my God, I'm going to send you sprinkle cookies. This will be funny on Christmas. And so, I mean, like, yeah, but I would be so embarrassed. Carlos, I think the reason Melissa did it now is because she knows that her and Teresa are so done. So she's not embarrassed. Like she's willing to do this because I'm sure Teresa would be like, you're literally like, I want a cut of that if they were good or something, So because she knows they're done, she knows that Teresa's not going to like text her and be like, really, bitch. So I feel like this was like for her a perfect opportunity. Plus, like she's worried she's not going to come back to the show. But she was saying, like, I hope that I could create cookies like and Antonia takes over this business. And I thought that was weird. Yeah, Carlos is like looking like a crazy, right? It's crazy.
Melissa, oh gosh. My thing is this. I really this is just me being a producer. So one of the things about being a producer on a reality show, when you have meetings with reality stars, and this is maybe an exclusive for the audience, 9 times out of 10, the producers give the reality star a business idea.
That's so interesting.
Okay? And we do not get a cut of it. Oh, 1,000%. I can't tell you how many times I have suggested to my reality stars, hey, you should actually do this. In terms of a business, you should do that. I cannot tell you across my resume how many reality stars I have suggested business ideas to in order for them to have a storyline and ultimately make money, because that's what you want to do. If I was on Melissa's team, I would say this. You are a beautiful canvas. You like clothes. You have a store called Envy. Why don't you partner with She by Sheree and come out with an exclusive line called She by Envy? Do you know what I mean? Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, something that really fits her style, pun intended, and something that, to me, has staying power. We were just talking about before we recorded, me and Chantel were talking about how we shop online, and Chantel was saying, like, Carlos, I hate going to stores now because a bitch likes to see somebody with the outfit on.
Yeah.
So imagine if Melissa had a TikTok shop and she was able to try on the clothes and go live and people buy in time for... With Sheree next to her, like, that's the shit that I think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're thinking long term.
And things that are genuine to that person. Like, we've seen you for the last 12, 10, 15 years talk about clothes. You got so mad when Alexa from Miami said you, like, Jersey had the worst fashion because she thinks she has such good fashion. So it's like, that's the avenue you should really, like, strike gold in.
Well, Carlos, I have a question. Does Bravo get a cut from these things?
So, good question. So there is, and it's only because she talks about it all the time, the Bethany clause is correct. It's not, it's an unofficial word that is called the Bethany clause, where when you sign on to the reality show, you do, if you create a business within the season, the network has the right to ask for a cut. I don't know if they ever exercise it because, look, and this is the honest truth, nobody has amassed $100 million business like Skinny Girl. Do you know what I mean? So based on the earnings of like what the girls make, I don't think it's been exercised yet.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's sort of like, do I really want to take your money based on you're making like $100,000 in profit? Do you know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah. Okay,
but contractually they do. Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, she said she's going to do Valentine's Day cookies, and I don't know if it'll be just as much as a hit because, again, I think with Christmas, people were like, I'm going to bring this around.
Yeah. No, I think so too. Child, we are just getting started. This is Reality with the King, and I'm Carlos King. Let's get back into the show. So let's shift gears a little bit. The unfortunate news that Karen Huger was found guilty of a DUI where she now faces up to 2 years in prison. The video was released of her arrest that broke the internet. I want to hear from you ladies about that. I mean, I'll start off by saying, look, I love Karen. Karen is a great housewife, and my thoughts and prayers go out to her and the family. It was sad to watch. I couldn't watch all of it. It was just too sad for me. But what do you ladies think about that? Is it something where you think Karen should have accepted the plea deal that allegedly was offered to her?
I said, like, it's weird that she would go down that route when knowing this is not her first DUI. Her DUIs were like earlier in 2006 and stuff, but on record, people don't care. Like, the judge and people see that. So it doesn't matter if it's 20 years ago, 30 years ago. She's had 3 now. This is her 3rd one, like, on record. So it's like, if you know that and you know how people are going to feel, I would have taken a plea deal. I would never have brought that into the courtroom ever. And kind of knowing what the state of, the state you're in. You're not innocent at all in it. So I thought it was crazy.
Yeah, I was really disappointed because I thought, like she kept saying, just wait, you'll see. And it's like, we did see, and watching the video was shocking. It was uncomfortable, but it also made me mad because I'm like, you have been handling this so wrong on the show. You haven't even been showing any remorse at all. Then we see these videos and you're literally wasting. And the fact that you wasted people's time, you went to try, like, that's crazy to me when she's so guilty. And she said those things on the camera. Like, it was just very, very embarrassing. And I'm sure the ladies are shooketh by it too. But I mean, she showed no remorse to me. I mean, the way Shannon was acting, I think people could rally behind her because she did take accountability for it. Whereas in Karen didn't at all. Like I really thought she had a case.
Yeah, the footage was just, it was shocking to see that. It was just shocking to see. And I do agree with you in terms of, my question is, did the lawyer see it? Because what lawyer would say, let's go to trial after watching that? Because I would be like, let's come up with another plan, because this is what has been alleged. Allegedly, Karen was offered a plea deal to where she would have 6 months of house arrest and community service, right? Based on the knowledge that I have, and it's limited because I'm not an attorney, I'm not Kim Kardashian.
You've done a lot. You've done a lot for sure.
So, there's no Esquire after my last name. But allegedly, she was offered 6 months of house arrest in addition to community service. And based on that alone, if that is true, I don't quite understand why that wasn't taken. We all dealt with COVID. We all dealt with our own version of a house arrest during the pandemic, and we sort of made a party for ourselves. We were able to bring the party to us, order Uber Eats or Instacart. We were able to do things to where we didn't feel so isolated. So I don't understand that. But someone did say this, and I want to get you ladies' thoughts on this. Somebody did say that the reason they feel like Karen did not accept the alleged plea deal is because she did not want to face the music on the 100%. Show.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I thought. Like, I feel like the reason that she didn't is because she's like, oh my gosh, the media's gonna, there's gonna be headlines about how I'm on house arrest and all this stuff. And I feel like she would be so mortified. Then the girls would all come for her for it. And I think that really has everything to do with it. But then it's like, look what happened now. Now you're really you're going to have something that happens that's way worse than what you could have taken.
She was definitely living in Delulu land. I don't know if she didn't know that she does have a problem, or she did have a problem that night. She was definitely, I don't think she was understanding. I don't think she understood that she wanted to be labeled as what she's going to get labeled now.
There's no way her lawyer didn't have access to that.
Oh, 100% he did.
Yeah.
It's wild that, listen, when you are a public figure, and I tell people this all the time, excuse me, I tell people this all the time, when you are a public figure, you gotta have the right people around you. You can't have yes people. And I'm not saying this lawyer's a yes person.
Yes.
What I am saying is, if your lawyer did not say, look, take the plea, fuck this show, the storyline, deal with that shit. If I was somebody in Karen's life, I would say, girl, fuck the storyline on the show. If anything, go in, be remorseful. Because my thing is this, and this is why reality stars, you gotta understand that social media is not the real world, and you gotta understand that TV's TV in some cases. I would have said to Karen, look, apologize, be remorseful, because at the end of the day, what can people say to you after that?
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean? If you're saying, I fucked up, it was bad, I made a mistake, I'm going to, I'm going to do the right thing in community service, whatever, I will never drink again. I think your cast, I believe this, your cast would say, well, fuck, she took accountability for it. We will look like assholes if we keep beating this over her head.
The problem is Karen only surrounds herself with people who are yes people. I know you're saying that, but I don't think Karen will F with you if you have a different opinion. So I feel like people sense that and feel that. And so it's either Karen's way or no way. And that's just what and that's the only way that she'll like tolerate and talk to you and be okay with you. So I'm sure the attorney did say, I don't recommend this. And I'm sure she was like, well, no, we're going to do what I say. I'm paying you. I can see that with Karen. I don't know, because it just doesn't make sense. No lawyer, I guess we have to look up who this attorney is, because no attorney would ever, suggest that she has a better chance taking this to trial with videos like that.
Well, this better be a good reality check. That's all I'll say, because she needs to have people put her in check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Karen and the family. And look, I'm grateful and thankful that she wasn't hurt and that she did not hurt anyone else. And that's what we're grateful for.
Of course, yeah.
But ladies, how do you guys feel? Are you grateful or not that Alexis Bellino was not asked back to the Real Housewives of Orange County?
So, well, here's the thing. So I saw that you did an interview with her, and she says to you, Carlos, what could I have done different? And just her asking that, and you were like, and I think you said something, we put on allaboutterry.com, but I think you said something where you were just like constantly defending John when you didn't need to. You said it way better, but just her asking that after the fact is why I think Bravo made the right decision, because she still doesn't get it. She still doesn't understand it if she's asking you that question.
But I would have liked to see, the relationship still, like maybe things might happen, or there might be a double wedding with her and Jen, like them planning the weddings. Like that could have been interesting to me to see. And then maybe we could have seen her have a little bit, like you said, if she doesn't even know what she did wrong, how can she have remorse? But maybe she could have like tried a little bit with Shannon a little bit more. And we could have saw that, and that would have been a great season too. So I am kind of sad that she's not asked back, even though I came for her all season long, because she was just wild. But I am sad.
Yeah, listen, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, oh, okay.
I'm not shocked at all.
Right.
I'm not shocked. I did hear from my sources that allegedly Alexis was told to dial it down, and she just didn't listen. I was told that. Not sure if that's true or not, but I was told that. But I do think this. She gave a lot to this season, whether you liked it or not. Like, she gave a lot. And listen, when it comes to our job as podcast hosts, what she gave is great for our job, because we can, you know what I mean? We can.
Oh, yes. We're loving it.
Roxanne said we
Keep
love
doing
it. No.
I swear. We're loving it. We're passionate.
We love it. I love it. So she gave a lot to the show. And what I did say to her was like, you gotta, again, it's all about having the right people in your ear, whether or not you listen to them or not, but you have to, because I would have shaken her like, girlfriend, stop defending this man. He's not present. And if they bring it up, change the subject. Because one thing Shannon did, which whoever Shannon has in her life, Shannon, give them a nice Christmas gift, because the way she played it, to me, and girls, think about it. The first fucking episode, the first event, she approached Alexis. She said, let's just get this over with. That showed me that she understood the assignment.
Yeah.
And that she said, I'm going to take control of the narrative. And Shannon Beador, again, whether you like her or not, she was the smartest player this season, because you would think that everybody would be like, oh my gosh, you had a DUI, you're a bad person, whatever the case may be. She was able to, what you ladies said earlier, she was able to own it, apologize, be accountable, and honestly deal with it in a way that you felt like whether or not she's going to stop drinking is her prerogative. I'm not here to tell her what to do. But because she had Tamara antagonize her, and I told Tamara this too, I said, girl, you went way too hard, to the point where I'm even looking at you sideways, and I like you. But even I'm like, damn, Tamara, like, ease up on her. Like, that's what she's going through is so bad. But Alexis, it's just, I don't know what else she could have done after the show was shot. I think it was like, girl, there's nothing you can do, even a press run.
Yeah, I think a lot of the the Bravo stars are like out of touch with what we might actually think about what's happening. So like they think we're gonna think one way, and then all of a sudden, and it could be the production and how it's produced, but all of a sudden, like the whole Tamra and Shannon situation, they all thought we were gonna be on Tamra's side, but like everyone rallied around Shannon. So it's like they don't really realize what we're gonna take away from watching the show, and I think they think about it way too much, and they shouldn't.
Well, yeah, Tamra had said, she's like, I never in a million years thought the viewers were going to react the way that they've reacted. And so it's like, oh, okay, so you didn't think that. So you treated Shannon worse and worse every episode because you thought that that's what we were going to want to see. That's like so messed up. That was someone that you actually considered your friend. How can you do that to someone you considered your friend who is already at their lowest, and then you bring that man, his new girlfriend, to the show? That's a lot on someone.
Yeah, no, totally. Speaking of friendship, Heather, Gina, Emily, Shannon, and Tamra had a holiday bestie brunch. To the point, girls, they, I think, exchanged matching bracelets.
Matching bracelets, yeah.
Grow up.
Well, Chantel, tell us how you really feel. Go ahead, sister.
Well, grow up, because you're excluding people. Grow up with the matching bracelets. Like, I just cannot. Like, why? And then on top of that, like, they had to post it. Like, they posted so much about it that everyone had to see. So it's like almost they're sending a message, and like, we got it, okay.
But it's also like shame on us for going as hard and defending Shannon as hard as we did. Because we sat there and we all had her back, and we all, Shannon said, yeah, I'm not going to forgive Tamra. And it's not, and you should forgive, because no one wants to hold on to hate, right? Because that does more damage to you. But the fact that you have Shannon and Tamra faces against each other, hugging each other tightly, like that's where it's like, okay, whoa, where we all just played. And at this point, just like with Heather, that one season, Chantel, where Tamra turned on Heather and was so shady. We defended Heather. We had her back. We felt so bad. How can someone do that to her? The next season, Heather comes back and she's Shannon's best friend or Tamra's best friend. And anything Tamra did, she could let go. And she's not someone who lets go of things. So we were like, oh, shame on us. Like, we went so hard to like defend her. We felt so bad for her. And then we did the same thing with Shannon. And now Shannon, I don't know what the hell Tamra has on them. I'll never know. But now she's like BFFs. And it's fine to gradually get there. But for it to happen this quick, that just like shows you how scary it all is. Like how even Shannon, like we're such losers, dude. We had her back so hard for what?
And it's funny to me, like also with Gina and Emily, it's like they're so happy to be in the cool girls club. Like they're so happy. So it's like they're not there Emily, to like dude. They're not there to be like they're not there to be like, hey, let's not exclude people or whatever, because they're just excited to be at the table. They're like, let's go.
Well, they're done because they think, oh, by the way, Carlos, we were the one, I think someone came on your episode and we were the one about the babysitter thing with
Oh, yes. No, you guys, listen, that's why I'm always like, I'm somebody who clearly don't listen to people who try to tell me how to do my job or like who I should have my podcast, because you ladies had the actual like nanny on your podcast.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we had we had everything. We didn't release it though, because we were like, we're not going to release it because that's like someone's kids. We're not going to release it. But I mean, we spoke directly to the nanny. We saw the pictures ourselves of her. It wasn't a nanny. We keep calling it a nanny. It was a babysitter. We spoke directly to the babysitter who had Max. And we know that Emily even reached out to the babysitter after, going ham on her. So there's an exclusive, going ham on her, because the babysitter came back and told us. And it was like, very, very threatening from Emily. So very, very threatening. So, and we could have made that a huge thing. Because that text was insane, but we didn't, because we're just like, all right, we're going to just drop this. Cause there's, obviously it's not about the kids or anything, but it has an affiliation, and we never want to, we have morals. We're never going to go that low. We don't want to go low like that. So, we just always think it's important to hear everyone's side. And so, I just wanted to let you know, because someone was like, Carlos like brought you guys up on his podcast, but I guess it wasn't even.
It was your guest. It was your guest or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And he didn't say who or whatever. So, and he had the story like kind of spin where he's like, we don't even know if that's true.
You
We would never lie about that, about the babysitter.
The ability to ask the questions and give your opinion and allow people to talk about their experience.
Yeah.
So that's why all of you have to subscribe to All About the Real Housewives podcast, because it's a great podcast. I love it. And they actually have like great guests on, guys. So make sure you subscribe to it. But I've been saying this in nauseum, and that's the reason why I get so much hate about my opinions about these alliances. I tell people all the time, the Real Housewives, honestly, gone are the days of genuine friendships when it comes to all of them, right? Shannon and Tamra are back cool because they both need each other. Tamra needs Shannon to stop the social media hate. And Shannon needs Tamra because at the end of the day, Tamra's good television. Will they ever be back being besties? Absolutely not. Heather needs to get in where she fits in, right? She is the one, in my opinion, who holds the most grudges because Heather's real friends make $10 million plus. They live in Palm Beach. Do you know what I mean? Like, Heather's real friends are none of these girls. Like Heather's friends are like upper echelon society, Lisa Vanderpump, Adrienne Maloof. Like, that's her circle. So in order for Heather to remain on the show and have these ladies be scared of her, she has to be friends with them. When I was at Kathy Hilton's party, Heather hung out all night with Gina and Emily. All night.
That's wow. That probably made Emily's day or her night. Because Emily has been dying to get in Heather's good graces.
No, they hung out all night. And I thought to myself, Heather's playing it well. Like, she knows she has to, like, befriend these ladies. And listen, I love me some Emily and Gina, but let's call a spade a spade. They're happy to be with the cool girls. It is what it is.
Thank you.
I will say this to you. The reason why on Alexis' podcast, I said to her, but Alexis, you said that Tamra and Heather were your real friends. How did you feel about that scene that ended part 3 reunion where they pretty much threw you and John under the bus? She told me on her podcast, they did not give her a heads up. She had to watch it in real time. Her feelings were hurt. She said that her and Tamra had lunch 2 days prior and that Tamra said nothing about it, and that her and Heather were trying to talk about it after it aired, and Heather said, well, something along the lines of like, let's table this and talk about it later. And I'm like, have you heard from them? And she said no. And I said, do you still think they're your real... And again, this is no shade. She's like, I have a lot to think about now. So my thing is this. These ladies have to show and prove that we are going to give you guys a show about real friendships, which, whatever. I felt bad for Jennifer, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah.
Because Jen really thought that Shannon at least had her back. And I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to take it back. Shannon's loyalty is to her orange, and that's it.
Yes, I agree. You know what? I totally agree with that. I think for Shannon, because I guess like Alexis said that she's so good with Jennifer and Katie. So I'm assuming Shannon's upset about that. But it's like Tamra and Heather were literally advocating for her and saying we're close friends with Alexis. So why is that okay? Why are you able to move on? I mean, I don't think that Jen and Katie had this like crazy relationship with Alexis at all. I just think, Alexis was nice to them. They're being nice back. That's what I saw on TV. So I think for them to forgive certain people, or Shannon to be like, all of a sudden hugging Tamra when Tamra was like, Alexis is my friend. And Tamra throughout the whole season anything Alexis did, it was fine in Tamra's eyes. So I don't know. I just think that's super messy. And I do really feel bad for Jen and Katie.
That was so messed up.
Yeah. But again, it goes to show you, everything they did was strategic to me. The matching bracelets made me barf because it was sort of like, I like to watch the reality of people who are being real. No woman 40, 50 plus is exchanging matching bracelets. Like, what in the sisterhood of the traveling pants is going on here? It was so like, it was so much for social media fodder. And to add insult to injury, they all tagged each other and invited each other as collaborators to this post. And I was like, this shit is so like wild.
I saw that like Vicky like made a comment like, "Oh, sorry I couldn't make it," but like I think she was being funny unless she really did get invited. But I was like, seriously, like that's how I would say. I'm like, sorry I couldn't make it.
Yeah.
If they were smart, they wouldn't enter a new season like this. Like the fact that they are willing to be villains again is crazy to me, because obviously we see Katie and Jen aren't there. And it's like that, you know, like the mean girl, like, oh, we got matching bracelets, like the Fox 5 stuff on Beverly
Force
Hills.
5.
Is that what they were called? Fox 5? Well, yeah, whatever the hell that was. That was so stupid. That was the dumbest thing ever. And it's like, I feel like that's kind of how they're going to enter the season, is acting like they're that group. And it's like, okay, you guys aren't going to come out on top. So change your strategy.
Seriously.
I know.
Yeah.
And we see how far the Fox Force 5 relationship gotten.
Exactly.
Guys, listen to me when I say the only real friendships across all of the Real Housewives, and I've said this once and I'll say it again, the only real friendships is Alexis and Marisol from Miami and Giselle and Robin from Potomac. That's it.
And you know what? It's like they never fought. And like that's how you know. It's like they'll fight because like they're sisters, but they'll never like, you know, betray them.
Well, what about Gina and Emily?
No, they'll betray each other.
Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm just being honest with you. If the cool girls outsit one of them to the degree of like, because we all make mistakes. So let me give you an example. If Gina made a mistake that obviously we all feel like, okay, that's a fucked up thing to do, Gina, and all the girls outsit Gina, I promise you, Emily will go with the cool girls. I promise you. It's to the point where they have to feel like this is going to keep me my job, and I have to make sure that I choose my paycheck over my friendship.
Listen, there's a lot of pressure on them, and I do feel bad for that. There is a lot of pressure because they all want to come back next season, and they're all, you know, really excited about the money, and now they're used to it. So there is a lot of pressure, but maybe there shouldn't be as much pressure then. I don't know. I mean, you're a producer. Like, what do you think about that? Because I know that producers do sometimes pressure and be like, this is boring. Come on, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And you're like so scared that you're not going to make it to the next season. So you're like, I'm about to, you know, act like the biggest piece of shit for money. So what is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. The reason why I have great relationships with my girls from Housewives is because I never produced that way. I always follow the reality. So a good example would be Nene and Cynthia, right? They start off as friends, and then things went awry during season 6 when Peter and Nene got into it in Mexico, where Nene called Peter a bitch. And it sort of felt like, okay, what is Cynthia supposed to do after that when your best friend calls her husband a bitch? And like, where do you go from there?
Right.
And Cynthia decided to like, you know, venture a little bit away and create a distance between her and Nene. And Nene talked about that. Us producers, we were like, okay, talk about that, because we want to be able to see you guys reconcile. I love a reconciliation of friendships.
Yeah.
I said this before. I was very, very, very adamant to Kenya and Phaedra. Like, guys, this shit is boring. You guys arguing about the same thing on a hamster wheel. Like, can you guys at least address it to move on? If you don't want to be best friends, that's okay. I do think some, not all, but some of the newer producers who look at social media, they do try to like create this sort of like negative space when it comes to the friendships. But that's why I appreciate Giselle and Robin's friendship so much, because even when Robin was read by all of us, including social media, about how she handled the Juan situation, I appreciate that Giselle gave her a harsh reality check, but never to the point where you felt like Giselle threw her under the bus. And that to me, that to me is real friendships. And my last example would be Teresa and Jacqueline. I did the first 2 seasons of Jersey, so I was there when things were great. But I remember Teresa calling me saying, like, I can't believe me and Jacqueline are, like, about to have a falling out. And I said, oh, no, no, you can't. Like, save it. Like, that's your... Because I knew for a fact, like, no, Jacqueline loves you, and maybe there's other things going on, like, whatever. And that's why I'm happy they're back being friends, because you got to save the friendships and not try to tear them apart.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's what viewers want to see.
Yeah, exactly. So, oh my gosh, girls, I am obsessed with the two of you. I said it before.
You're so nice.
And I'll say it again. You guys are always welcome back to the podcast, and we can always dish. And as we sort of wait for another year to see Teresa and Dolores return. See what I did there? Return.
From your mouth to God's ears, okay?
Yes. I will bet the farm on Teresa and Dolores returning. But look, we will talk about that when it happens and when it gets announced. But in the meantime, tell the Raindrops where they can follow you and support your chart-topping, successful podcast.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram at All About TRH Podcast. We're also on X, All About TRH. And we're available on any podcast, All About TRH. So
and TikTok. We're on TikTok, so hopefully we can... Even Carlos, he's gonna up his game on TikTok if it doesn't get banned.
Yes.
So you'll see us there.
No, I will. But thank you, ladies. Happy holidays, and I'll see y'all soon.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Merry Christmas. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Reality with the King. New episodes drop on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Share, comment, follow, and subscribe to Reality with the King wherever you get your podcast. Visit realitywiththeking.com and be sure to follow me at @TheCarlosKing_ on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and yes, baby, my YouTube channel where you can get all of my visuals, baby, my expressions. Yes. And don't forget, tweet me your thoughts and hot takes about this episode using the hashtag #RealityWithTheKing. Reality with the King is a production of Kingdom Reign Entertainment and executive produced by me, Carlos King. Kingdom Reign Entertainment, baby!